Hey friends, it's Roast here with a new type of Realm video. I grew up watching Adam Savage and Jamie Heineman testing all kinds of crazy myths on Mythbusters, and I thought it would be super cool if I could apply something similar to the games I play. Today, we start with Realm of the Mad God and 5 myths that I have heard in one way or another during my time playing. In this episode, we find out just how bad Sicken and Quiet are, exactly how Soulbound works, and more, so stick around. I'd like to take this time to thank my first Patreon, New Choice. They're awesome, and I hope others join them so I can continue to dedicate more time to making cool videos for y'all. You guys can support me by liking the video and subscribing to help me reach 1,000 subs, but if you subscribe on Patreon, like New Choice, you can also get access to videos a day early, your name in every video, and a special role in the Discord. If you guys really like this Mythbusters series, make sure to drop more myths that I can test in the comments below, but more on that later. Anyways, with the intro out of the way, let's get started with our first myth. Myth number 1. You cannot drink HP or mana potions while sickened or quieted, respectively. Now, before I get into testing this myth, I guess I should break down how this series will play out. I'll introduce each myth, and if I don't think the title is explanatory enough, I'll go into more detail. I'll talk about how I plan on testing each myth, and then I will test it and report the results. At the end of each video, we can also probably do a little summary on confirmed, busted, or plausible, just like they did in the show. But on the topic of HP and mana potions, you might think you wouldn't be able to drink HP or mana potions at all during Sicken and Quiet because you can't benefit from them, but let's find out. To test this, I will be going to Toxic Sewers for its Sicken debuff, and Oryx's Castle for the Quiet debuff. I'm going to be trying to do HP and mana potions using them from your quick slots, from your inventory slots, and from the ground, using both your hotkeys and shift clicking on them. And I know that sounds excessive, but spaghetti code tells me I need to test these all because spaghetti code, you know? Let's get started. Alright friends, so we found a Toxic Sewers. It took a minute. So the plan here is simple. Get hit, walk into the Sicken, that's it. I'm trying to take a shot, not too many. Alright, so we're sickened. Excellent. So we can test it now. Can we use an HP potion? We can use an HP potion. It has no effect. Cool. What if it's on the ground? Can we use it? Yes. Can we use it from there? And can we hotkey? We can't hotkey it. It won't let me use... Oh, wait, how'd I heal? I healed somehow while I was sick. Yes. Can we use it from there? And can we hotkey? Wait a minute. How did I heal while I was sickened? Did y'all see that? I healed while I was sickened. I'm gonna have to watch the clip back. What the shit? That was strange. Okay. Okay, no effect. Okay, so I can use it from there. That's very strange. Okay, so HP pots you can use. They don't have any effect, but you can use them. That's good to know. Myth, half busted. Now next is mana pots in Oryx's Castle. Alright friends, so we found a bug with the HP potions, so that's neat. Wild, but neat. Now time for part 2. We're going on to the mana potions. So we're going to test if we can drink mana potions while quieted. We could drink HP potions while sickened, and usually they had no effect. We were able to heal, though, at one point, so that was not supposed to happen. I'm going to have to wait till I hit 20 here, because 20 will fill your stats up, and that may mess up our experiment. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and take a quiet. So I can't drink that potion from shift click. Let's move this into the 1 slot. See, while we're quieted. I need to be up to towards the front so I can get hit with a quiet bomb. Come on, get up there, get up there, get up there, get up there. Where's the quiet bombs? I don't want to wait for another Oryx for this. Alright, we're at 18. Close. Where's the quiet bombs? Alright, we're 19. Almost there. So shift clicking on the inventory. That didn't work. Shift clicking inventory. Hot clicking. What the hell? Bro, what do you mean? Okay, you cannot use potions at all. I tried hotkey, I tried shift clicking, I tried... Oh, damn, those hurt. Ouchie. I forgot about that. I tried every combination I could. I guess I didn't try double clicking. Let's try that real quick while we're in this last stretch. Let's try double clicking. Yeah, nope. It's impossible. So you can drink HP potions while sickened, but you cannot drink mana potions while quieted. How strange. Why would they code those differently? Deca, why? Why would you do that? I don't understand. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed me testing those myths out. Let's move on to the next one. Myth number 2. Can you prevent lag deaths with Alt F4? It's happened to all of us. You're in the Godlands, you're clearing just like normal, and then just for a moment or two, everyone else straight lines, everyone wanders off. No gods appear on your screen. What's going on? The game snaps back all of a sudden, but bullets flood your screen, or just instantly you're greeted by, "You have died." This is one of the worst feelings in Realm, and it never feels like you can do anything about it because you can't even Nexus, which is how you normally get out of it. But there is a myth I've heard that you can Alt F4, the hotkey to force close the game before the lag ends in order to save your character. So, testing this should be simple, except I have to make lag, which may or may not be allowed. So first things first, first thing I'm going to be doing is making a new account to test on so I don't get banned. After that, I have to find a way to make lag, and then I'm going to TP to Godlands at low level, walk somewhere dangerous, and then find out what happens. Let's go. I'm connected to the Australian servers. You can see I'm having connection issues. My ping is really crappy. I'm level 1. I'm on a new account, so I don't get banned in my main. We're just going to teleport to the Godlands. Oh, I can't. Ugh. Just going to walk to death. Yeah, so you can see everything's really laggy. I take damage really delayed. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Okay, Alt F4'd as I took fatal damage. Right? Okay, let's see. Is the priest still alive? Is the priest still alive? Because he should have taken fatal damage there. I tried to Alt F4 as those bombs exploded. That definitely killed him, right? Okay. He died. The priest died. So... Ooh. That's spooky. That means even if you're lagging and you Alt F4, it's still gone. That's not very cash money. Although this was ping lag and not the harder lag that I usually see. This was a more consistent ping lag. Because I have a very steady ping. It wasn't a very... That's scary. That's terrifying. Ah, because this tells me Alt F4 doesn't help. No, this isn't what I wanted to hear. Ah, Deco, why? I'm going to test this some more because that's not the answer I wanted to hear. I wanted to still be alive and be like, all right, boys, it worked. But it didn't. So yeah, and I do have to test this multiple times anyways. Like I can't just be like, all right, one time it worked, easy. So, oh man, one arrow. Okay, so I definitely took fatal damage here. I saw the -6, and then I Alt F4'd. And I'll try it one more time. If he died this time again, it's not looking good for the Alt F4 while, at least this type of lag, which is ping lag. If he died again, we'll try it one more time. Oh! He lived! How did he live? That's impossible. How did he live? I saw the -8 when he had 6 HP. You guys saw that too, right? I'm not crazy? Hold up. Okay, testing again. Okay, I had 4 HP that time when I Alt F4'd. No shot. No shot he's still alive. No shot. He has to be dead. Has to be. Has to be. There's no way. He's super dead. He's He's super dead. Yeah, he's super dead. There's no nexus. There's no nexus. He's super dead. Okay. So, I'm going to test it one more time. Hey friends, Roast here. We're testing the Alt F4 lag death situation one more time. And what specifically I need to test here is that if I Alt F4, I've got this keyboard down here so you can see my key presses actually now. What I specifically want to test is what the delay is between Alt F4 and the game freezing, and then if that input has to be before the fatal damage, or if when my ping is high, it can come after the fatal damage and save me. The frame for this seems to be about 5-ish frames. Maybe. That's if the Alt F4 command instantly freezes the game. So let's find a cube to destroy us and get an answer to our question. Okay, that's a bunch of damage. There's some more. There's 18. I did it too soon. But we can use that clip, so I'm going to use that clip. Let's find out what the delay is, boys. Take 0. I definitely saw the fatal damage. Did we live? Did it Alt F4 in time? Find out next time on... So there's like a no more than 2 or 3 frame window, I think, where you, once you've taken the hit, if you Alt F4 in time, it got out. Alright, boys. I'm gonna review the clips, and I'll come back in a second with a conclusion. This is exciting. This is very exciting, though. This is super exciting. So after reviewing those clips carefully, it appears that if you are on a high ping server or are lagging, and if you Alt F4 within just a few frames of taking fatal damage, if it's just 100 to 200 milliseconds ping, or before you connect back and send a death message, if it's real lag, you will survive. So I am going to say confirmed question mark that Alt F4 will save you from lag deaths. That's so exciting. That's so exciting! This is crazy. Myth number 3. There is only one soulbound threshold. So, I've heard that when hitting bosses, you only have to get one specific percentage to qualify for all loot on all bosses. The value of this number is uncertain, but people usually say numbers between 5 and 10%. The good and the bad news for this myth is there won't really be any testing here. Deca and previous developers almost never release drop rates, and actually they never really chose to release them. It was more on previous versions of the game had this information in the code, and data miners could dig it out. That's not possible anymore. But there was a single time that this data did get released. Almost 8 years ago, this information was leaked, I guess not released really, in a blog post. And while the exact numbers have certainly changed since then, this system has not. So let's break that down. Every single enemy and the items they drop have different soulbound thresholds. For example, if you wanted the candy ring from the Mega Rototo, you had to do at least 18% of his HP in damage. And then, once you did that, you had a 2% chance of getting the candy ring. If you wanted the candy-coated armor, you had to do 20% of its HP in damage. And then you had a 0.5% or 1 in 200 chance of getting the candy-coated armor. Really low odds, but that's how it works. The basics of it is, there is a threshold. Once you hit this threshold, you have a set chance of obtaining this item. It is that simple. Over-damaging, which people interpret as going past an item threshold and missing out, so you could think of it as going past 18 and up to 20, like, you don't miss out on the ring pop because you went up to candy coated. Now you just have a chance at both of them. Like, going to 22% doesn't mean you miss out on this guy. Now you can just get both of these when you drop, if you're really lucky, right? And you also do not get more lucky by being high DPS. Like, by getting 40%, you don't get more odds. You just, yeah. But your odds, once you cross the threshold, you're good. Once you get your soulbound, whatever percentage, you're good. And your loot, whatever you get, does not affect other people's except in extremely rare cases, like 1 guaranteed chrysalis per clear in hard mode shatters. Or, I guess, if you were able to do enough damage to prevent other people from hitting their soulbound thresholds. Now, these have lowered a lot. These percentages aren't nearly as high as they used to be. They are much, much, much lower. So these are a lot easier for everybody to hit. But if you were somehow able to do like 95% of a boss's HP, and there were 10 people on the run, most of the people wouldn't get loot because they probably wouldn't be able to hit soulbound thresholds. So I guess that's one way you could impact others' loot, but that's really unrealistic, right? Like I said, these numbers that I have on screen are all from 8 years ago, and since then, these thresholds have all been lowered, and these drop rates, I think, have been raised, and these, again, are all really old and have changed a lot, so don't use this at all for any kind of guesswork. These are just, this is how the system works, and that is it. Okay? If you guys would want to read more on this, I can link this post, but yeah, I'll talk a little bit longer, and then we'll move on to the next myth. And I would just want to say, I would love to test various myths relating to drop rates, because there are endless myths on drop rates. Kendo stick is one of them that's just near and dear to everybody's heart. But the unfortunate reality is that to have accurate numbers, and like that's just within like a percent, literally just within 1%, you would have to run tests hundreds of thousands of times. I'm not exaggerating. I did stats in college. That's, to be statistically accurate, that's how many times you have to do that. And 1, I don't have that much time available, and 2, I don't want to hate Realm of the Mad God. So, sorry, but drop rate myths are just probably not going to be what we're going with on this Mythbusters. So yeah, we're probably going to call this myth busted and move on to the next one. Myth number 4 is related to drop rates. You only care about the last form of a boss for Soulbound. So, Exalted Oryx, or during 03, Megamoth in Woodland Labyrinth, the final cultist in Lost Halls / Cultist Hideout. Now, this myth gets a lot of flack because it can encourage leeching, but I really want to know what's the truth here. For any boss that changes form or refills their HP bar, does soulbound damage only depend on the last phase or entity that it becomes? My plan here to test this one is pretty simple. I want to run a couple Woodland Labyrinths and only hit the Caterpillar and First Butterfly and see if I get any loot, and then do a couple more and only hit the last Butterfly and compare results. Did I get loot when I did it the first 2 times? Did I get loot when I did it the last 2 times? And I'd like to do the same thing with Cultist Hideouts, and Archbishop Lucrex's, and Oryx 3s, and any more I can think of, but those are a bit rarer and harder for me to defeat them as consistently to get that video out in a timely fashion, so this may become a staple one that I test. Hey, this week on myth number 4, I tested this boss for the soulbound whatever mechanic, so keep an eye out for that for later videos in this series. Anyways, let's go test it out. In this one, I'm going to only hit the boss in the first 2 phases, meaning while he's a little caterpillar dude, and when he's the second butterfly. I didn't hit the last phase, and I got no loot. This is test 1 of 3, but that's pretty damn good evidence right there, boys. That's pretty damn good evidence right there. Alright, I'll come back with more in a second. This one we're going to try, again, only hitting the first 2 phases of the boss. The little moth, or the caterpillar and the little moth. Okay, and again, no loot, so it's looking pretty positive. Alright, that's 2 of those in a row. Now we're going to try hitting the last one, and we'll see how that goes. Now we don't hit the first 2 phases. We'll just hit the last one. I heard a bag. We got soulbound. So just from hitting the last phase, we did get soulbound. Very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. One more test to do and we'll have our answer. We're testing if I just hit the last phase, so not the worm, not the first moth, but only the second moth, do I get the soulbound? This phase, and then we got soulbound again. Okay, well I guess that all just about confirms it. So when you are fighting, at the very least, W Labs, only the final moth phase matters, and then I would imagine for other bosses that's a similar situation. Interesting. Myth number 5. Dying while nexusing is impossible. This is another myth that I need to rely on a bad connection for, but more specifically, bad ping. Because my hypothesis is that bad ping is what gets you killed while nexusing. And the reason I believe this is because when I've seen videos of people dying while they're nexusing, is usually Sebchoof, and he's an Australian who typically plays on American servers, which means his ping is usually very high, potentially in like the 150 to 250 range. On the flip side, I've noticed instances where I take fatal damage as I'm nexusing, but I'm able to escape, again presumably because I am on servers where I have very low ping, maybe like 10 to 20 range. I believe that the client to server you have taken damage and died interaction, for some reason, takes less bounces or interaction, takes less time than the Nexus interaction. My idea. Could be totally wrong. Who knows? And if this Nexus interaction is twice that of the death interaction, your ping time is also the exact amount of time you can still take damage and die after you press Nexus. Now, testing this will be difficult, if only because of timing. You see, I have to take characters to places they will die, and then try to Nexus out just a few frames before or after they take fatal damage. On low ping servers, I should have a small window where the Nexus command has gone through before my PC registers where I can take fatal damage while I am Nexusing, but not die. And on higher ping servers, the window is still just as small for taking fatal damage safely, but it will be delayed by some 100 to 200 milliseconds, making it much harder to hit on purpose, I think. Also, if my ping spikes for whatever reason during these tests, that will also make it much more difficult. Anyways, let's go test and find out. Alright, so I know it's really, really ugly, but down in the bottom left now, I have a keyboard capture device. So you can see what buttons I press when, so you can see just how soon I'm pressing the R key to Nexus. That's my Nexus hotkey. Because that's what I really want to capture here is, like, comparatively speaking, how soon I need to Nexus to get the Nexus off compared to when I'm taking the damage. Because I'm playing on Australian servers with bad ping. So, oh, this guy's perfect. Alright, so we can take damage from these guys. I do 9 per hit. I don't want to take damage from too many of these. I just want the archers. The archers do nice, consistent damage. 9 each. 33 HP. Okay. So that should have been fatal damage. I nexused, took the damage, and got out. So, like, I think that's the thing is, like, when you're on low ping servers, it can sometimes feel like you nexus as or after you take fatal damage. And on the higher ping servers, you have to nexus before you take the damage, like, actually. And I think that's what it is. I did it early again. Like, I'm so 2, 3, 1. I took the failed damage and then nexused. And I got out with it. What? One more. Okay, now I'm fatal. Okay, so I tried to nexus after I got hit there. Definitely died. So I missed the window, whatever it was. Okay, there, I tried to do it as I was taking damage again. Did not work. Okay. Let me die. Okay, 11. Okay, I'm at 4 HP. 6. I thought I nexus before that death, actually. Okay, I tried to wait till after I took the damage there. Wasn't an option. I'm pretty sure I pressed nexus before I died there again. Okay, so that time I took the fatal damage, but I nexused just before. So I think that's what... I think... And that timing was more consistent with what happened in my live streams. Take 0 shots. So, I did it too soon. So, it's hard to take the damage you want to take. Didn't time it properly. 18... Damn it! I tried to nexus there before he killed me, but I don't know if it went through. Stop that. Okay, there I saw the -10, and I got out, but it was after I nexused. Interesting. Alright, well, I'm gonna hope that's enough footage on this one. So, what I found while testing this was that the lower ping servers had smaller windows between fatal damage popping up and the death screen actually displaying, which makes sense. With high ping, the death screen usually took 7 frames, but with low ping, it only took 3. My hypothesis of different speed interactions is pretty much wrong at this point, as both nexusing and deaths took the same amount of time based on when the key presses went through with that handy-dandy keyboard we had down at the screen. Although, worthy of note is that when I nexused and took damage in the exact same frame on high ping servers, I died 3 out of 3 times, which indicates to me that the death has a higher priority than the nexus interaction. So, remember that. Also, every single time that I nexused before I took fatal damage, no matter how many frames, even if it was just a single frame before I took fatal damage, both on high and low ping servers, I survived every single time. So I will say that this myth is also confirmed with a question mark. But if you are lagging hard and you take what you think is fatal damage, Alt F4 based on what we found for that earlier myth. Well, friends, after multiple days of testing and research, I've got our results, so let's cover them. Myth number 1. You cannot drink HP or mana pots while sickened or quieted. We called it plausible because while you can't drink mana pots, you can drink HP pots. Also, we found a bug with Sicken, so that was kinda cool. Myth number 2. Can you prevent lag deaths with Alt F4? We called this one confirmed with a question mark, because we definitely Alt F4'd at least one time after taking fatal damage. Myth number 3. There's only one soulbound threshold. This one is super busted, because the devs confirmed beyond all doubt there are many, many different thresholds. Myth number 4. You only care about the last form, or rather, do you only care about the last form of a boss for soulbound? This one is confirmed, at least for the Woodland Labyrinth. If you want to see me test this on other bosses in future episodes, make sure to comment that below. Myth number 5. Dying while nexusing is impossible. And we called this one confirmed with a question mark as well. And this one is a questionable result, but as long as you nexus before taking damage, you should never ever die unless a lag spike causes the command not to go through, and then it seems that the death damage has priority over nexus, so Alt F4 it is. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I spent a ton of time and effort on it. If you want more like this, please comment more myths and trivia in the comments below that I can put to the test, but no drop rates, okay? And I will try to make another episode maybe every 2 or 3 weeks, because this was really a ton of fun. Even though it took like a whole weekend and it was a ton of time, I loved this. This was so enjoyable. It was great. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any other videos, and consider subbing on Patreon too for early access and to get your name in the videos too. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. But until then, keep it beefy, boys.
Hello there.